Show. It's the Len Petrulis Show.
Holy cow, don't touch that dial. It's time for the Len Petrulis Show right here. Take it from me, Harry Carey, you'll have a great time. As I always say, you just can't beat fun.
Get ready for a potpourri of creative talk and entertaining guests discussing today's news events and issues on all the local level. So now for the next half hour, here's Len.
Welcome to our program for this. Decades ago, when I was in college, I took a course in art appreciation. And since I took the course because it was an easy credit. But I did manage to learn something about art at that time. I've forgotten quite a bit of it. But we're going to be talking about art and art appreciation on our program this evening with a special guest who is from the Soviet Union. She is an established artist and pretty well known throughout the Soviet Union. We hope to have her pretty well known here in this country. Her name is Tatyana Apraksina. So first of all, Tatyana, let me welcome you to our program. And how do you correctly pronounce your name?
Tatyana.
Tatyana. And you are, as we indicated, an established artist. And you're currently touring the United States with some of your works. Is that correct?
Yes, I have more than 30 paintings with me here. And I have been here since the middle of October. I was invited by the North Shore Art League of Chicago and under the grant of the Soros Foundation in New York City.
So you're not only touring the Chicago area, but the entire United States. How many cities will you be?
I can't remember.
Well, from October for a couple of months, I wouldn't be able to remember as well because they're just too numerous, right?
I've seen 18 states. And I spent 2 months in California. I had 4 exhibits there in San Diego, in Mendocino, and the last one was in San Francisco.
Okay, let me ask you this. We'll get back to art, but I'm also kind of curious on your first impressions of your travels in this country. What was the most dramatic thing that you noticed when you first came here? And is this your first time? That's 2 questions.
Yes. The greatest impression for me was that the difference between our countries is very small, because I have the same mess here like I had in the Soviet Union, and the same troubles with my traveling and with my exhibits.
But okay, the people I would imagine would be the same, but what about the traffic problems? Do you experience those in the Soviet Union? And do you have as attractive scenery as we have in some parts of California?
Oh, I like your roads, of course. And the most unexpected for me was it could sound strange, but it was the nature of America.
In what way?
The nature, this land, this incredible, wonderful, very young land. I feel it on each step, that it is very young, and the people here are very young too.
We are. We just experienced our 200-year celebration, so we are a young nation if you compare us to other nations. Now, the Soviet Union has been around for centuries, so there is probably that great difference, but I was trying to establish your dramatic impressions when you first get here. Are you fascinated by the skyscrapers, maybe all the people, or something like that?
I knew enough before I came here, because I had many friends in America, and I think the country is not conditions for living. This is people and the state of mind And so my greatest impressions are about this.
When you look at things that you experience in this country now in your travels, do you look at it from an artist's point of view? Maybe things to paint in the future, ideas and creativity. Do you look for that when you seek things?
Yes, of course. I try to learn everywhere where I come, and you know, all our life is a very, very long lesson. So, and I've got many new ideas here, and I made some new paintings in California, and they have difference. They look different.
So you do paint while you're touring as well?
Yes, yes, of course. I try to do it, but it's not very comfortable.
Well, let me ask you this now. What attracted you to become an artist? Did you always have this ambition to paint? Was this maybe something you learned in school or something maybe that happened in your life to encourage you to go on to painting?
Well, it's just the most convenient language for me, and it doesn't matter in what way I can express my impressions, my feelings. It's just my language because I don't know because of what.
So you use this as a means of communication to express your inner feelings by painting something?
Yes. Yes, of course.
Let me ask you this. Before you start I guess you call them pictures or portraits. Portraits would be of individuals. But before you do a painting, do you have it in your mind exactly what you want to see on the canvas?
Not exactly.
So it progresses as you're painting?
Yes, sure. Sometimes it's something unexpected for me when I finish my work, and I can see that it's not exactly what I had in my mind.
Then what do you do? You destroy it?
I feel like I'm just an instrument. These ideas are not mine. I can just get them and give them away.
Obviously, you have a talent for doing this, because looking at some of the pictures that you've painted, they're very attractive and they're kind of interesting too. Is this something that you learned, or did this come natural to you?
Yes, of course I learned. I learned because it's necessary. The art can't exist without it. And but I try to have my own system. I don't like the state system of education, because it's, in my opinion, it's too big and too dependent on political and social changes and.
Well, it used to be that way, but do you have more freedom now in expressing your own opinions?
Yes, of course. It's much better now, and we have many changes, as you know. And for me, it's very obviously all these changes, because I wasn't. Do you know about the artists' union in the Soviet Union?
There is a union in the Soviet Union. Okay.
Well, I wasn't a member of this union, and I had many problems, and it was, I had really a very hard time because of it.
Could it be because you were a woman?
No, because I wasn't a member of the artists' union.
What does it take to become a member?
Oh, To be a member of it, you can have a diploma of the State Art Institute for the first, and then took part in 2 or 3 region exhibited of the union, of the artists union. And then you can get a commission from the union, and if the union like it, your work, you can become a member of the youth section of it. It doesn't mean that you will become a member of the union itself. You can stay young all your life, but if you are a member of the union, you get a chance to maybe to get a studio, a state studio, and it's easier for them to buy materials, brushes and paints.
There's so many questions that cross my mind. In fact, we never established Tatyana, right?
Tatyana.
Tatyana. Where actually from the Soviet Union you are from?
From Leningrad.
Leningrad, we know, is one of the major cities in the Soviet Union. It's a large city. Is there a lot of competition to become a member of the union, of the artist union?
Yes, of course. But I think that the main trouble is not in this. I think it, as I said, like any big system, it's too dependent on its connections with the party and with the government, and connections between the members and relationships and so on.
So it's politics, it's a bureaucratic establishment.
Kind of politics.
Let me ask you this, in viewing some of your paintings here, I noticed there's relationship to music. There's a lot of musical instruments. Is there a reason for this, or is that particular characteristic of your style?
This is my theme, this is my subject, and I begin to paint it in 1984. So I have 6 years of this theme, and my exhibit here shows exactly this subject.
The musical instruments, right?
Not only instruments, everything about music.
Well, there's one that doesn't have an instrument. In fact, it's of an individual whose hands are pointing skyward and has a baton. I guess it's called the maestro.
Yes. Well, you can see he's a conductor, and so.
Why didn't you call it the conductor then?
Because he is a conductor, but he is not just a conductor. He's maestro.
Was there anybody in particular you had in mind when you painted this? Was there an actual person?
In this case, I didn't think about any concrete person, but I have some portraits, and for example, I made a portrait of Dmitry Shostakovich, and it hangs in our conservatory in Leningrad. And sometimes when I can meet a person who is more than just a person.
Like me, for instance.
Probably.
I'm only kidding.
We can try.
Oh, boy. Let me ask you about another painting that we viewed before the program began. I forgot the title of it, but tell me a little bit about it.
Which one?
The one around the first one we looked at.
Red Fiddler.
Oh, the Red Fiddler. Again, there's a musical theme and an instrument involved.
Yes, of course. And it was not the first, but I did it in the beginning of this theme, and it's very difficult, and I don't like to describe my paintings, of course, because what I had to say, I said it. So you can do it maybe better than I.
Do you feel offended if someone looks at your painting and sees something other than what you intended it to be?
Yes, it happens.
Okay. So I won't comment on none of your paintings except they're very attractive.
Well, I think this is okay, because it's right, because I limit myself because I did it, and I have connections with the process of painting it, so I can see just what I can see.
Let me ask you this now. Back in college when I was taking art appreciation, most of the more famous and well-known painters were men. And I guess that hasn't really changed that much. Most of the people that do paint are men. Women have usually been the subject of the painting. But in your case, do you find more and more women, especially in Leningrad or the Soviet Union, going into painting? Are they becoming well established?
Yes, of course. We have many women artists. Especially now, because it's easier to be an artist.
What made it more difficult before? Is that you were cramped in what you can do? You weren't allowed freedom of expression at that time? That it's more free now?
Yes, it's more free to show it, to have results of your art, but to do it. I expect that the art is freedom. It means freedom itself, and it doesn't need in other freedom.
A long time ago, people in the Soviet Union were not allowed to express their opinion, whether in writing or newspapers, and I guess artistry as well, right? Because it is some sort of form of expression. You were a little bit controlled then, just like newspapers and authors, were you not?
Yes, that's true.
So all of that has changed even for people who are journalists and writers as well?
Yes, of course. And unfortunately, I'm not there now, so I don't know so much. I feel like I left 10 years ago, not for months.
So you're not homesick yet?
Because we had so many changes this time. I don't know what I'll find there when I come back.
Okay, let me ask you this. We know even in this country, people say a starving artist, that it's difficult to survive or make money selling paintings and such. How did you support yourself when you were in the Soviet Union? Were you allowed to sell your paintings there? Can you live off of this, or did you have other type of jobs to?
No, I left my state job in '83.
And then you started painting?
Yes. Well, I did it before, but I had a state job at the same time. I worked like a movie poster artist.
That would be called an illustrator, would it not?
I'm not sure.
Okay, there is different forms of artistry too.
Like a commercial artist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Then when I left my job, I had a few years which were very hard for me, because I was an unofficial person. Because if you're not a member of the artists' union, you can't be just an artist. You had to have a stage job.
But did you get paid for your painting? In any way, were you allowed to sell them?
No, it was against the law. So
okay.
I couldn't sell my paintings. I couldn't do anything with it. I could just paint.
And you saved all of them, and now you're able to display them over here. Tatyana Apraksina is my guest this evening. She's a renowned artist from the Soviet Union, and currently during this program has her works displayed at Rosary College. And we do thank Rosary College for cooperating and allowing us to view some of these displays here. And also my thanks to Tatyana for being so very cordial and allowing us to talk to her about some of the interesting things about painting. Let me ask you one more question, Tatyana. Who's your favorite artist?
My favorite artists are all musicians.
Maybe that's why we have the theme of, okay, music is part of the art form as well, but I'm talking about people that paint. Is there anybody that you admire a little bit more?
I don't have any particular artists which I prefer, because I can like some of their works or their way in art, but well, it's really not easy for me to say. I don't have one favorite artist.
I find it a little bit unusual, but
every day it changes.
Okay, very good. And again, let me thank you for being on our program and sharing some of your opinions about painting. We wish you a lot of luck in touring this country, and we hope that you get a lot of new ideas for future paintings.
Thank you. I hope so.
Very good. Good luck. Again, Tatyana Apraksina from the Soviet Union, and again, my thanks to Rosary College for allowing us to view some of these beautiful paintings here in a beautiful hall. Again, thank you very much, Tatyana.
Thank you.
We hope you enjoyed our Russian artist, and now in keeping with that European theme, we're going to talk about money matters in Europe and what effect it has on this country. We do this after every program, talking